Hey guys, Horatio with BMWBLOG, and once again I'm live from Germany, Munich to be more specific. And the reason for my trip here is this brand new BMW M2 G87. Before I dive in and tell you more about the car, you might want to check out my previous videos. I've had a chance to talk with the designer of the car, so he went over the design details, and of course with the product manager to go in depth about some of the technical specs. But let's take a look at this one. So as you see here, brand new design, very different front fascia compared to the M240i. And as Jose, the designer, told us, they wanted to kind of simplify the front end, but at the same time, more aggressive than the M240i. There are 5 colors available at launch time. And right here we have Toronto Red, but they also have an Alpine White, Black Sapphire, and Brooklyn Gray, and the new M Zandvoort Blue. You might have seen some of the renderings showing that color, but unfortunately we can't see it here today. Once again, let's talk about the design. As you can see, it also has a different front grille compared to the 2 Series, to the M240i. The lower air intake, it is quite different as well. A lot of air openings as you'd expect because it has a powerful engine under the hood. So let's talk about that. It's the same engine that comes with the M3 and M4, so basically the S58 3.0 liter 6-cylinder. And in this car, it makes 460 horsepower. So that's exactly the same power output as you see today on the M2 CS F87 generation. 550 Newton meters of torque. And of course, it comes with a 6-speed manual and an 8-speed automatic. So I'm quite happy that BMW still offers a manual transmission in an M car. Performance-wise, 0 to 62, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.1 seconds with the 8-speed automatic and 4.3 seconds with the manual. There is no X-Drive component right now, so all the power is sent to the rear wheels. BMW says there are no plans for an X-Drive at the moment, but with a 7-year cycle of production, anything can happen in the future. When it comes to the dimensions and weight of the car, this one it's about 11 centimeters longer, 3.3 centimeters wider, and it also sits lower to the ground by 1 centimeter. The wheelbase, it's 5.3 centimeters longer, so I'm going to go inside the car actually to kind of tell you if there is a lot more room compared to the outgoing model. But overall, the car has increased in size, and of course, it has increased in weight as well. If you're optioning the car with a 6-speed manual, it weighs 1,700 kilos. And if you are adding the 8-speed automatic, it comes out to 1,725 kilos. So a little bit heavier than the current M2, and it kind of sits in between the M2 and the M4, for example. So if we move to the side, we can kind of see some of the other things that were inherited from the M3 and M4, and that starts with the M brake system. It's essentially the same one that you see on the M3 and M4. There are 2 wheel combinations, so you have right now a 19 in the front, 20 in the back, but if you want to go higher or bigger, you can go for a 20 and 21 inch combination, which is available from the M Performance parts. Now, if you look also at the side of the car, as the designer explained it, you can see also a lot of simplified shapes, but at the same time, they give the car a very bold and very muscular look. We've talked about the rocker panel on the bottom, of course, quite different than what you see on the M240i, for example. Of course, you have the character line that's a little bit shorter, and the idea here is to emphasize the boldness of the car from the rear. Naturally, you're getting the M mirrors, a must on a BMW M car. Optional carbon fiber. It's exactly the same carbon fiber that you see on the M3 and M4. Now, if we move to the back a little bit, we can talk about the design there as well, but essentially the taillights are the same as on the M240i. It also has a very solid spoiler. Of course, if you want to go bolder, you can option the car with a racing wing carbon fiber from the M Performance parts, and we've talked about that in the previous video as well. Naturally, 4 pipes specific to M cars, no surprise there. An M-specific diffuser too. Carbon fiber diffuser available from the M Performance catalog. M2 badge. So compared to the F87 model, basically, this one starts as an M2, so it does not start as an M2 competition. So this is the official name, really, BMW M2 G87. You can see from the back, once again, and as we've talked in the design video, you can see some of the design changes here that were made to make the car be wider and also have a really nice stance on the road. In some ways, it reminds me of the BMW 1M. It's got kind of the same squarish setup and squarish look, so that's really nice to see on this car especially. Since we mentioned the exhaust pipes, they're 100 millimeters big, basically, so same as the M3 and M4. But you might have seen some of the spy photos where there is a different shaped exhaust similar to the M3 and M4, and that's going to be available for the M Performance parts as well. Other than that, just minor changes here. As you can see, the vertical integration of the reflectors and the PDC. We've talked about that in the design video as well. But now let's take a look inside because there are quite a few things that have changed there. So I'm going to open the door and we can take a look, especially at the new optional carbon bucket seats. All right, so inside the BMW M2, as I mentioned, optional carbon bucket seats. So let's talk about the seats a little bit because that was a huge topic in the BMW community. So the M2, it's available with 3 options. You have the basic seats, you also have M Sport seats, and then you have the optional M carbon bucket seats. Now, if we're talking just specifically for the US market, I was told that there will be 2 options. You will have the M Sport seats and then, of course, the optional bucket seats. So that's the seating situation. There are multiple trim and leather combinations inside the BMW M2, 3 trim options, a black one, you have aluminum and carbon fiber. There are also different leather types for each individual seat, and you can see that in the video with the product manager. Of course, this car has the 6-speed manual, same transmission from the M3 and M4. As you can see right here, the M Sport steering wheel, no surprises there, carbon fiber trim all around. Naturally, the biggest addition inside the BMW M2 is this very large curved display. It's essentially the same one that you see on the 2022, 2023 M240i models and all the 2 Series. So essentially 2 screens connected to make this large curved display, which is powered by iDrive 8. So really no major surprises inside. The one thing that I've learned is that if I go into the rear seating, and I will do that, you're getting about 6 millimeters more leg room. But at the same time, because of the shape of the car, there is a little bit less headroom. I don't have the exact figures, but I can go in the back seat and you can see what it looks like for someone that's 6'2", 1.9 meters tall. So let's take a look. All right. All right, so in the back seat of the BMW M2, I adjusted the front seat basically for a normal driving position. I'm assuming somebody that's about 5'11", 6 feet tall, maybe 1.85 meters tall, should be okay to drive in that position. You can see I have, decent leg room here. And unfortunately, there is not that much headroom. So basically, in order not to touch the roof with my head, I have to kind of lean forward a little bit. So if you're tall, it'll be a little bit difficult to sit in the back of the BMW M2. But at least you have an idea what it looks like. I'm on the tall side. And of course, your mileage might vary. So once again, carbon bucket seats. You can see the really nice carbon bucket structure from behind. It looks beautiful. Same as in the M3 and M4, maybe with different colors, but overall it's kind of the same shape. Seating for 2, of course. So once again, you can see this passenger side seat being pushed all the way back. There is no room there as you'd expect. But of course, if you move a little bit forward, somebody on the shorter side should be able to sit there comfortably as well. Once again, this is the interior of the BMW M2. I'm gonna hop outside, give you a few more details on pricing and market availability. So let's do that. All right, so this was the BMW M2 G87. Pricing starts at 72,800 euros in Germany. Production begins in December of this year, and market launch is scheduled to begin in April 2023. Of course, each market will have their own market launch. We'll have the chance to drive the car probably next spring, so we look forward to do that because we've had a chance to drive a prototype a few months ago in Austria, and it was a fantastic drive. If you haven't seen that video, make sure to check it out. The overall take was that it feels like the current BMW M2 CS, so it starts at that level. So this is a very competent car, and I can only imagine what BMW can do in the future with very special models. So once again, the brand new BMW M2 in Toronto Red. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you in the next one.